Hello everybody and welcome back to LMM. Now, a load of you asked for an update on the Dodge, so we obliged. Welcome to What's Broken Now. Now, I've not been able to sit in this position with the steering wheel, which looks suspiciously like it came off a Suzuki Jimny, for quite some time. And we may be wondering, where did this come from and how did I acquire it? Well, the simple answer to that is eBay. And I went on a little bit of an adventure in the middle of the morning to go acquire it. And you may be thinking, but Lawrie, it appears to be, well, only just light. And you're parked up by the side of the road. Well, that can only mean one thing, isn't it? Yes, that's right. No, I haven't broken down. In fact, the boss has spent a lot of money on this, and he's had the prop shaft, the rear axle, and the diff replaced. And so when you drive it now, it doesn't go, it just drives. It's been a very pleasant experience. Now, I am 2 hours away from home, and currently it is 4:46 in the morning. I just want that to register with you guys what time I had to leave home to get here at this time. It's unpleasantly early in the morning. But I'm here because I'm meeting a chap, yes I know, lay by side of the road, meeting somebody from the internet. I think I'm going to get murdered. But I have bought a rather important component for the Dodge. I've got a new front end. And hopefully, that's him now. Oh, there it is. That is a new front to the Dodge in the back of the works van. And what's even better is the fact that I've not been murdered. Now, this, as you can see, is a complete front end to a Dodge 100 Commando Series Lawrie. And you may be wondering, well, how did you find this? Because it looks in remarkably good condition. Did you find a lorry and cut it off? Was it a wrecked lorry that the back end was gone? Was it something? Have you committed a theft and stole somebody's pride and joy? No, this is a genuine Dodge spare part. Yes, I know, it is amazing to find it, but it is complete, including things like the heater box down here, which fills with water. That's not filled with water and still there. And the headlight surrounds, which are very complicated, they're still there. It is absolutely incredible. And when you consider that this is almost a vintage, well, the fire engine is almost a vintage vehicle, being 1986, so it's almost in the UK historical. The lorries themselves are old design, but this is basically a historic vehicle in its own right. And the big question I hear you asking was, how much did you pay for this wonderful thing? This, dear viewer, this piece of metal, this paper thin piece of metal, cost more than the entirety of the Dodge fire engine itself. I'll just repeat that in case you didn't quite comprehend it, because I'm still struggling with it. This single panel cost more than Redruth, the fire engine, did. Yeah, I know, right? Now, at this point, I'm going to say a massive thank you to Stephen for pointing this out and bringing my attention to it, and also so generously donating towards acquiring it, because this has frankly brought the project of the fire engine forward by years. No longer do we have to weld up little tiny bits everywhere. We just have to cut the front off and weld this one in place. And it's good because Matt's good at welding. This will make things a lot easier, and a lot of the technical stuff that we were worried about, this will overcome. And it's brilliant. I'm genuinely excited. So over the next few weeks, we're just going to give it a new coat of paint because there's a bit of surface rust on it just to preserve it. Does this mean that we're going to suddenly jump onto getting on the Dodge and cutting the front off? No, not at all. This is something that's come up, but we're not really going to do anything until we've got one or two other projects here, kind of moving forwards and not into bits. Speaking of projects though, the big red thing behind me now functions once again. So following up on the Jupiter conundrum of it not starting at Christmas, the way Jupiter is wired up is strange. Going to the batteries, the red cable is negative and the black cable is positive, which has caused many hours of grief and mucking up things by connecting it the wrong way around. The kill switch is off on the red line, which should be positive, which is where you normally put it. But apparently, if you put it on the negative line, it does some magic mumbo jumbo and eats terminals. So in order to fix that, I've gone and bought one of these very expensive, from eBay and China, quick release terminals that goes like that, and you just pop it off and take it off, thus disconnecting the circuit and thus protecting the battery from further degradation. Because I put the drop tester on it, and that's fine. The batteries are fine. One of the terminals is melty. So I'm going to put it back together again, do it up nice and tight, and hope that it will work this time round. Or maybe it'll just spark again, who knows, but... As with every single thing that I do with this fire engine, nothing is ever easy. For instance, I thought, oh, it'd be easy just to swap a terminal on this. But no. Now, I'm having to cut it off. Because the old one was crimped on. So, saw through and remove. Now, to try and improve upon the battery eating technique that Dupes has displayed for the last however long, I have added a quick release thing onto the negative thing. Oh god, why did it do that? Should be off. Alright, here we go. That's good. Yep, it was just the batteries not making good enough contact. So, I have spent a lot of time filing down one of the contacts and applied a Japanese converter to it to bring it back to the correct width. And that now functions. To prevent whatever weird magic things going on in the background and it eating away the terminals, I've installed a flick release contact. So every time I'm not using it, not only do I turn it off on the master key, I also now just remove the contact so it can't eat itself anymore. Theoretically, that's going to solve all the problems there. But it does mean that it is, once again, functional, which is wonderful. And speaking of things that are going red, I've got this. Now, this may not look like much to you, but this is the valve cover of my Nissan 100 NX. And Trev took it upon himself to go and give this a nice tidy up and clean up to make it smart, and then handed it over to Morgan, who has removed all of it, nicely taped over all the holes, and has given it several coats of high temperature red paint.
This is the really sucky part when it comes to painting, but it's the most important prep work. Alright, first coat. Let's see how it goes.
My wonderful table in action. That looks like that's going to be proper nice on there. A couple of coats of that, and it smells strong. Now, I'm not really one for concourse engine bays. It doesn't really suit me or anything we do here. However, it will be nice to make it look a little bit special and a bit different, and especially the amount of effort we're going to with having to basically wire brush the entirety of it, repaint it all, and, well, try and persuade Matt to put some more metal back into it to make it look a bit special, make it look like it actually has had some love, because frankly, looking at the car, it hasn't had any love for time. So it's the start of things starting to happen with it, and this is the first painted component towards my very pretty but not concourse engine bay. On the subject of actually achieving something and making progress, you'll recall that a couple of episodes ago I spoke about getting some new hydraulic lines made up for the digger, because the metal ones were words that I can't say on YouTube, and were just awful to try and fit and caused me a lot of grief, much to the amusement of my colleagues. And these have finally been made, and I went and collected them. I've got to be honest, it was the single most enjoyable thing I think I've done in the shed in months. To be able to go zip, zip, and zip, and then for it to be fitted and to work, and just to go into situ. It was incredible, and I fully understand why Massey made them out of metal to start off with, because they are not designed to come off and it was cheaper, but why on earth were they not made out of actual rubber and be flexible in the first place? If that thing did not have a cab on it, fine, keep them as metal ones because you can get round to them. But as soon as you make something with a cab that's in the way of absolutely everything, the fact that they're not made out of something flexible so you can kind of get the thing into position and then just feed it to where you need to be is just, it is the worst thing I have ever worked on, including the big red thing that you need to align your stomach across the engine bay to do anything on. It is awful, and it was just serene putting these things on. It was so satisfying to be like, screw, done, screw, done, screw. For context, it took 2 weeks, or possibly even 3 weeks of being up here to shoot the bit and make the bit that you saw before, to actually make that happen. To do the bit you've just seen took me as long as it did to shoot that literal section of video. I cannot explain to you just how much better it is now. And it means that, scarily enough, that it does actually function again as it's meant to. I know, I'm scared too. Something new for this year that we're trying to do here inside the shed is be more responsible vehicle owners. You'll have seen by now that we have a selection of battery chargers and things around to keep our multitude of vehicles charged up, but we've realised that a monthly fire up, just to give everything a warm through, let it get up to temperature and just have a run, will probably help us in the long run, which meant that obviously we had to go around everything in here and find out what would actually fire up. Currently, I have very few vehicles that actually will fire up. I have my dailies, which are currently both sat outside, and I've got this and my MR2. There's also Matt's MR2. And of course, the digger. Currently, that is the only stuff that I own that fires up. So, 106 is going to get fired up and just driven outside so it can aerate. Unfortunately, both MR2s are both blocked in by the chimney, so they're going to sit there and just get a fire up as well. But regular content and regular repeat stuff of turn the key, car start, get car warm, all good. So that, my poor little dusty car is going outside. So the blue MR2, which is looking significantly worse for wear at this stage, which is really annoying because I've actually got the plastic stuff up here to stop stuff falling on it, yet it's filthy. It turns over, it clicks, so make sure it's not in gear. It's not. Pretty happy with that, so we'll let that run. And now, see if we can get Matt's running at the same time. Yeah. Two noises. I can't hear anything. And of course, this thing. I am always amazed at this. From a scrapyard, and it just goes. What's that? I hear you cry. Yes, you're right. There is another vehicle that I have which does work. Yep. Is it excluded from this monthly fire up? No, it's not. It is, of course, this one. Which I don't need to worry about the battery going flat because I am indeed at the battery. So we shall put the cold start on, put it into decompress, spin it over. First time, every time. First try! And the answer to that was actually everything that we did ask to start did fire up, which has been good news. And this is something that you won't see every month, but it's something that we're going to be doing in the background just to try and keep the fleet happy and chugging over. And on that note of keeping things happy, I mentioned everything around here's got battery chargers. Things like this. This is a Tornado unit, and this was actually sent to us by the good folks over at Top Don, who have given us this to use on our fleet, which has got useful, nice, clampy things. And the fact we were sent this wonderful thing by Top Don, not Gun, who's in the video description, means I can put a proper one on this, because I have a cheapy Chinaland charger that I bought from eBay for less than £10, currently charging up my MR2. And every time we turn it on, it says it's full immediately. So I rather suspect it doesn't work. So hopefully this one here is going to do a better job. So it's got a very nice sleeve that tells you it is indeed a battery charger. It comes in a nice little box with, oh actually that's a very nicely well packaged. It feels very much like a charger, always useful, and comes with a variety of extra cables so you can put different things on it. So you can either plug these into your car and leave them on and plug it in, or what I'm going to be using are these. Like that. So thank you very much for sending this through, and we've put it to use working on, well, keeping our batteries charged up. Because I also bought something else that's useful. So one of the things that we've managed to acquire quite a lot of inside the shed are batteries. And some of these are better than others. For instance, like the ones on Jupiter, which have just randomly decided to give up. As we have a good selection of batteries, we try to keep them all topped up, so if we need something to bump something into life, we've got spares. And then we're always surprised when these batteries don't work. To alleviate this problem, I've acquired this, an American-style drop tester. It has wonderful things like connecty bits here, which we connect to batteries like so. And then it comes up with a little gauge there and tells us exactly what this battery is. So at the moment, this one has just under 12 volts. Do you say that everything's fine? Until we press this button here. And now it puts a draw on it by running it through a lot of resistance here. At which point it goes straight back down to bad, and this one is knackered. So this battery we now know we can throw out, and it's absolutely knackered forevermore. We can try this one, once again, quite happily at the just about 12 volts. So put a load on it, and this one is also pretty knackered. So what we've learned from this is I can throw out these batteries because there's no point to to keep trying to charge them up. Useful tool, actual tool, good work me! Yeah, okay, so I'm not allowed to be trusted with these things apparently. I did try putting it on my ear and that really hurt, like really hurt. They are good strong clamps on this particular brand. So yeah, it didn't say in the instruction manual, by the way, do not put onto ears. So anyway, moving on, that brings us to the end of this episode of What's Broken Down. We hope you've enjoyed it and seen what we've got up to and seen the fan favourite of what you wanted to see actually have some progress. Let us know what else you want to see progress being made on in the shed, and of course, thank you all very much for watching, and let us know, yeah, what you want to see more of, what you've enjoyed, and your amazement at this thing. And so, thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you next time. And I'm just going to pretend to drive this. Oh, and in case you're wondering why it's the Suzuki wheel, it's because we've got no idea what Morgan's done with the actual steering wheel to the Dodge. It's somewhere, but no idea. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh wait, it didn't have a key, did it? It just had a button. Oh yeah. It was a long time ago that ran.